I could not be more excited about today's video. And before we get into it, I want to thank today's video sponsor, WeVac. More about them in a little bit. Our family is going to be going on a family retreat to an isolated cabin in the woods that is off-grid. It's not far from us at all. It's right in our local area. And they have several different cabins that you can rent out. So we're leaving to go there this Friday. This is a dream vacation that we've been wanting to do for years. We're spending 2 nights, 1 full day. So I need to have food for that whole time. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this video, and stay to the end to see some clips of this cute little cabin and this little retreat that we're going on. I decided that nothing could be cozier than a pot of soup for this cozy cabin. So I decided on a stuffed pepper soup. If you watched any of my earlier videos, you would know that my husband spent a lot of time chopping up green peppers that we grew on our farm, and we froze them. So this soup is going to be really quick and easy for me to put together. I'm really just adding ground beef, onions, garlic, peppers, some seasonings, some of my canned tomatoes, and then some broth. And I also ended up adding some thick and rich tomato sauce at the end to thicken it up. I'm adding some thyme that I grew myself and dehydrated. So that's a really nice seasoning. And I also added some oregano and some bay leaves. I forgot to mention that I also added about a half cup of rice to this soup, because that's something you would put in stuffed peppers. So that's another thing I added, and I emptied that bag. And I love making cozy soups like this in the wintertime, and especially being able to use some of our preserved food is just such a blessing. Today's video sponsor is WeVac with the CV12 chamber vacuum sealer. This unit is a commercial vacuum sealer. With the CV12, there are different functions that you can use on this machine. This machine is compatible with any Mylar bags that are meant for vacuum sealing, and you can use a continuous roll. And this machine has the ability to seal the bag. This unit also has a marinating function, which allows you to marinate meat at a faster pace. And then you can also marinate it in a bag and seal it and freeze it. The CV12 chamber vacuum sealer has the option for different bag sizes from small, medium to large. And you also have the ability to vacuum seal liquids, which most machines cannot do. And that's an incredible function of this machine. It's going to make your home preservation go up a notch, because you could do tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, different things that is going to take up so much less space in your freezer. And the other great thing about this machine is that you can vacuum seal mason jars. If you have a small mason jar, it can go regular way in the machine. And if you want to do a larger quart-sized jar, you're going to be tipping it to its side and sealing it that way. And it also comes with a hose attachment that can be used with vacuum sealable bags, jars, or containers, which I don't currently have, but that is a nice function of this machine. If you're interested in checking out the CV12 chamber vacuum sealer, head down into my description box below, where there will be a link and a code for you to get a discount. I'm also cooking up a pot of rice that I plan to use for fried rice. I've got a recipe here for Dad's cookies, and the date on this is 1909. And it's essentially an oatmeal sort of chocolate chip cookie that also has coconut in it, which I love. I haven't made a batch of cookies since last winter, and my husband just loves cookies. And this is a little trick I learned online for getting your parchment paper to sit flat. It's a game changer. You just crinkle it up and then it just sits totally flat for you. So I will put this cookie recipe down in the description for you. It's a really good one. And I had a friend's mom that made similar cookies to this growing up. They always had oatmeal and coconut, so it really brings back those memories. Of course, I had to double this batch of cookies because I knew that as soon as my husband found out I was making these, he was definitely going to be wanting some. And I also wanted to provide some for my kids after school on this day. So I doubled the batch, and we're going to eat half now and half for the trip. What could be cozier than spending the day making soup and baking cookies? This is just the perfect winter's day. It's always important to let your cookies set for about 5 minutes after they come out of the oven, or they will just crumble into pieces. So I let them sit, and now I'm putting them on this rack so that they can cool off completely. I decided to give this soup a little taste test by having some of it for our lunch for my husband and I, and then the rest is going to go into the fridge so that I can package it up for our trip. And then the next thing I'm doing is repackaging these egg rolls that I bought for the trip. And I really wanted to test out this unit, so I didn't really need to repackage these, but I just need to kind of learn the ropes with this machine. And so I'm putting it into this bag. And honestly, I was shocked at how small these egg rolls were. It was so kind of disappointing, but I guess not surprising. We're going to be selecting the bag size, and then as soon as you close the lid, it starts vacuum sealing. And I was so happy when it worked. We're getting started today with a few different things. Not only am I thinking about our trip, but I'm also thinking about when we get back from our trip, because we're checking out at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and Sunday is the day that my oldest son comes over and has sort of a movie night with the family, and I always provide a dinner, and so I want to be proactive about that so that I'm not stressed out. I picked up some chicken breasts, and because the C12 chamber vacuum sealer has a marinate setting, I decided that I'm gonna cut this up, throw it in there with some Greek marinade, and then seal it, stick it in the fridge, and then when I get back, I'm gonna do sort of souvlaki skewers, and then maybe some lemon potatoes or some sort of Greek meal. So that is for when we return. And then the other thing I want to do is vacuum seal my soup from yesterday. I have it in the fridge cooling. And then on my list for today in terms of food is I am going to be doing some sort of muesli yogurt parfaits, as well as fried rice to go with my egg rolls that I vacuum sealed yesterday. So that's going to be dinner number 2. Dinner number 1 is the soup. So I'm going to go grab the soup and we're going to get started with that. I decided I wanted to vacuum seal my soup. I'm checking the bag size first, and then you want to fill these bags no more than about half full. And I love the fact that you can do liquids in this vacuum sealer because it's got that inner chamber where it sits a little bit lower, and then the lip of your bag is going to sit a little bit higher. And you definitely want to do this when your liquids are cooled down. Don't ask me how I know this. I did try it while my soup was still hot. Bad move. I had to clean out the chamber. So I cooled off the soup, and it is just so exciting to see this in action. And this just looks so professional, and it's just giving me so many ideas of all the things that I can vacuum seal and freeze. Now I'm getting started with the marinade for my chicken. I'm just using lemon juice, olive oil, oregano, some minced dried onion, salt and pepper, and I think that's it. I'm just keeping it very simple. And then I'm just going to slice up this chicken, and I'm kind of on a fast track to get all of this done right now because I also have some microgreens packaging work that I have to do for our farm today. Weevac sent me these continuous rolls in 2 sizes, and I absolutely love this. So you just pick your size and then glide that across, and we're going to seal the edge. And then I'm going to pick the marinating function, which goes through sort of 6 cycles in the machine. And it's supposed to marinate the meat or whatever you're putting in there at a much quicker pace than it would if you were marinating regularly, which is really exciting. And then afterwards, we're going to seal the bag. And that way, I'm just going to stick it in my fridge. But food will last at least double the time that it normally would in an airtight sealed bag. So I could prepare my food like this for the week ahead, and it's going to last so much longer. So this is really going to up my game when it comes to food prep and freezer meals and just so many things on the farm that I can do. We've marinated it and then sealed the bag, and this is just so exciting. That's going to go into my fridge for when we return, and that's going to make a really quick meal. And then I've got 3 packages of soup. And then I also decided to hard boil some eggs and try this out because I saw this at my grocery store. They actually had vacuum sealed hard boiled eggs for sale. And I thought it would be a great option for a quick protein breakfast on the trip. Oh, that's awesome. Food from scratch really is a labor of love, and having tools like this at your disposal just makes it so much more enjoyable. Now I'm getting started with a raspberry filling for my yogurt parfaits. I'm just adding a whole package of raspberries, a half a cup of sugar, and about a quarter cup of water. And then I'm pulling out my rice that I cooked up yesterday, and I'm gonna get started with my fried rice. First, I'm just scrambling up some egg that's gonna go in the fried rice. And I am keeping this fried rice really simple. I'm just doing the rice with some red onion, some green peas, and the egg. And I also added some water chestnuts, and then some soy sauce and some rice wine vinegar to add flavor. Very simple. And I just love fried rice because it's a quick, really easy and satisfying meal that uses sort of ingredients that you already have around. A big wok would probably be the right tool for this, but instead I'm using two of my biggest frying pans, and it's a little bit difficult to sort of, move all this rice around, but I made it work. I'm putting this into a foil sort of container that has a lid, and there is going to be a propane oven and stovetop in this cabin, so I'll be able to reheat this. This box of muesli cereal is what inspired me to do these yogurt parfaits. I do have a video on how to make this thick Greek yogurt on my channel. I'll link it. I'm doing layers of the yogurt, the raspberries, and the muesli cereal. And I really wanted to test out the function of this vacuum sealer when it came to canning jars. So I'm putting two of these in here, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen because I did fill these to the very top. So I'm going to set the time for this because there is a manual mode. And I wasn't quite sure how much time to put it on. I think I did 30 seconds. And I was quite surprised what happened. They did seal. A little bit of the yogurt came out on the edges. But I was so surprised that they still sealed. So that was really exciting. And, being able to do this with dried herbs especially is going to be great. I haven't made yogurt all summer, and my husband has been requesting it nonstop. So I know he's going to be really happy about this. And I'm just going to have to get started making more batches because it really is just so good. Okay, I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of everything I made for our glamping camping trip. So I've got here the fried rice, and that is gonna go with these little itty bitty egg rolls. So that is one meal right there for dinner. And then I've got eggs as well as the yogurt parfaits for breakfast. And I decided I'm bringing these. And then we've got our soup, which is another meal that we can bring. And then this is the chicken souvlaki for when we get back. It'll be still marinating in here. And then I also have the cookies. So those are all the homemade things for our trip. I'm also bringing some crackers and cheese, probably popcorn, and the hot dogs for lunch. Stay tuned in a few seconds here, And you're gonna see some beautiful shots of our little cabin in the woods. And I just can't wait. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and don't forget to go check out the CV12 chamber vacuum sealer. Thanks to WeVac, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.